My name is Gabriel. I am from the Way Out Ministries, and this is my story. So I'm from Anaheim, California. I guess I didn't really have a good family. My dad, unfortunately, when I was around 5, 6, he kind of left without saying anything. As a young boy, I did notice my mom wasn't really there for me. I was looking for a father figure, and I found that through the older people in the gangs. They taught me how to draw, tie my shoes. I started smoking weed when I was in middle school. And I started drinking as well. I started doing a lot more graffiti, vandalizing a lot of properties, especially schools. In the school, there was a gate, right? So it was the school, and then there's like a back gate and a front gate. Towards the back gate was a different neighborhood, so kids from that neighborhood would come to the school, and the kids from my neighborhood would go to the school. And that caused a lot of altercations. And then that's when a lot of fights would break out because people were from different neighborhoods. People were wearing the wrong colors. Looking back, it was pretty stupid. I got kicked out of school at one point because I just couldn't handle it. My 8th grade year is when I did start battling depression and anxiety. I would have a lot of trouble with my dad, and my mom always told me that, well, he wasn't around, there's nothing she could do about it, but that's not what I was looking for. I was looking for like the emotional comfort, but it did get to a point where, it just got really deep, and I feel like I couldn't go to anybody. It's a little hard to talk about. But I did end up cutting myself pretty bad on my arms and even on my legs. I did lose a good amount of blood, and I think there was a point where I didn't know what was going on. I blacked out because I remember just waking up. I hear a knock on the door, and there was my stepdad. At the time, he knocked on the door. He says, "Everything okay?" I put a sweater on as quick as I could and unlocked the door, and I told him, "Oh yeah, everything's fine." And then he pulled me aside, actually, and told me if I was okay or if I was cutting. I told him no. I was lying about it. I told him no, I wasn't. I was perfectly fine. And I remember talking to him. I did feel a lot of blood leaking down. I remember it did leak down to my hands. A couple of my fingers were covered. And he had left the room. I tried cleaning, and he walked in when I was cleaning it. And at that point, he ran to my mom and said, "Okay, we need to call a CAT team." A CAT team is where there's an ambulance come and they take you to the hospital. They restrain you. I guess the surrounding in the hospital was really depressive as well, because half of the time I was locked in the room. That's where I did, I guess, confess a lot to a therapist. I just sitting there just wanting to get out. And I would just tell them I just want to go home. I don't even want to be here. And then a lot of us lied to the therapist, to the people, just so we could get out faster, which looking back at it was a pretty dumb mistake, because a lot of the times when we lied to get out, we just go back in within sometimes a month, sometimes a week. I knew a kid that lied to get out and was back in 2 days. When I got out of the hospital, I was still smoking, I was still drinking. I was still going through a lot of family troubles. Again, I wasn't really connected with them as much as I should have. One day, my good friend Emiliano, he invited me to one of his birthday parties. It was in here, the teen center, so there was a bunch of games going on. I did feel a lot of love when I came here. But Pastor Ryan came up to me and he introduced himself, and he offered me to come to a youth group. I did talk to my good friend Emiliano about it, saying if I should go or not. We did connect a lot through trauma, so seeing him uplifted and being in a good mood, every time I saw him, I did think about coming. My first year to camp is when I really did see my true self. I felt so much love. I did not feel this type of love from anybody, even from my parents, I didn't feel this love anywhere. And then I remember I just felt like the Holy Spirit. I felt like I was getting a hug. And that's why I just started bawling. I started crying. I was trying not to. I thought I was a tough guy going to camp. I thought it was hard. But I did get humbled at that time, because I was going through a lot. I remember the song was about everlasting love. And I think that's what got me, because I didn't know really what love was. I did end up crying and had to get pulled aside by one of my youth leaders. I was telling her I was going through a lot of stuff, and I never felt that. And I told her that too. I never felt that kind of, I never had that kind of cry, if you could say. I never felt that kind of emotion. I just started talking to her about a lot of the problems I did go through, and that's when I accepted Jesus into my life. I was like a brand new person. Me coming around my friends, especially my leaders, they did see me have a whole life 360, and like, dang, I think about it now, I'm like amusing myself. Looking at that now, it's amazing because even a lot of my family members, they come to me about questions about the Bible, questions of my faith and my family life, my family home. It will still have its up and downs, you know. A lot of people still have arguments. A lot of people weren't there for each other. And my sister would ask me, like, how do you have so much joy? How do you have so much peace with these hard times? And I would always tell her that everybody told me praying is just talking to God. It doesn't have to be fancy, all these fancy words. Praying is just talking to God like you're talking to a friend. One Monday, she came to Zion Youth, and that's when she prayed the sinner's prayer. And then, man, that was such a proud brother moment I had right there. Because again, looking from where she was, not believing in anything like that, to now she believes in it, and I see her reading her Bible, walking with the Lord. It just makes my heart have even more joy and warmth. I graduated this past year. Coming to young adults in the church, still growing my faith, and I enlisted into the Marine Corps. I do want to help my country out, especially build my career, my future, especially growing a family, you know, later down the lines. So this is my story. Clearly, God is not done with me yet. I still have many more years ahead of me. I know God is working with me with other people's stories as well, and I can't wait to see what God has for me.